Let's talk top-down budgeting real quick. Normally, top-down budgeting refers to a process where management or senior executives create the budget and it kind of trickles down to the people that are under them. And hey, here it is, and figure out how to make it work, reduce your expenses, make it happen. The way that I refer to top down budgeting is I take where we want to be, what our profitability is, what our revenue needs to be, and then I want to create the budget that gets us to that point. So instead of saying, hey, we have this much money and we're going to allocate it in this way and we're just going to keep going about our business, I want to come at it from this is where we want to be. And to get here, these are the expenses that we're going to need to incur to make that happen. And so what I mean by that is if you are at $500,000 in revenue and you want to be at $1 million in revenue, you're at $100,000 in profit and you want to match that. Let's say you only want to be you're doubling your revenue, you want to be at $200,000 in profit. I would say let's go more because I think profit's way more important than revenue. But let's just say that we're going to go from 100K in profit to 200K in profit, 500,000 revenue to $1 million in revenue. So we know to get $500,000 in revenue, our payroll expenses are say 25% of that amount. And so as we move up, we want to be at $1 million, then we're going to look for at max the same 25% of payroll expenses to get to that level. And we're going to be reassessing that on a regular basis. I would say at least once a month, but if you're running payroll weekly, I would look at it weekly. If you're running biweekly, look at it biweekly. But at minimum is once a month, we want to look at these figures to make sure they're there. If our marketing has produced 500,000, but we know roughly that every dollar we spend in marketing is going to return us $4 or $5 or whatever your ratio is, then we need to increase our marketing to get to where we want to be. So it's a scarcity mindset when we go from bottom up budgeting. This is the money we have available. This is how we're going to allocate it. It's a forecasting and this is where we want to be mentality when we do top down budgeting. And so that's what I mean by top down budgeting. Happy to go into the specifics of that. Happy to explain some examples on that. Hit me up, drop some comments, ask me some questions. Let's get into it. Thank you for listening to my explanation of my concept of top down budgeting. And this is how we're going to get to where you want to be. Thanks for listening.